In every village, there are names whispered with fear. Names no one dares to say aloud once night falls. In Umudim, a small community deep in the eastern part of Nigeria, that name was Okonkwo the Dibia. To strangers, he was a healer. To the villagers, he was a man closer to the spirits than to mortals. People believed he could speak to the gods, cure madness, and drive away evil. Mothers clutched their babies tighter when they saw him pass, not because they hated him, but because his presence carried an aura that chilled the skin. But what no one knew was that beneath that cloak of respectability, Okonkwo was a beast, one whose heart had long ceased to be human. Okonkwo's hut stood at the edge of the forest, where shadows always seemed darker. Men came to him with disputes, widows with illnesses, and youths with questions about destiny. He welcomed all with a crooked smile. Yet in secret, he committed unspeakable atrocities. He harbored thieves and killers, feeding them and hiding them from justice. He preyed upon widows, forcing himself on them and seizing their land when they could not resist. And worst of all, he had a killing ritual so dreadful that even the bravest warrior would tremble at the thought. When he marked you as his prey, he would invite you into his hut. There, he laid out a mat and asked you to sit. But the mat was no resting place. It was a trap. Beneath it lay a deep pit, carefully covered. Once you sat, the earth gave way, and you fell into the darkness. Your cries would rise, but Okonkwo's face would remain cold. He would fetch a calabash of boiling water and pour it over you slowly, savoring your agony. The screams did not disturb the village, for people believed the Dibia was performing sacrifices to appease the spirits. When death finally silenced you, Okonkwo would butcher your flesh. For days, he feasted on human meat, laughing alone in his hut while the village slept in ignorance. Rumors sometimes floated. A man would visit Okonkwo and never return. A widow would disappear, leaving behind her crying children. Bones were found in the forest, gnawed and scattered. Yet no one dared to accuse him. Fear held their tongues. After all, who confronts a Dibia said to hold death in his hands? But the gods, though patient, never sleep. One night, Okonkwo lured another victim into his hut, a farmer who had unknowingly offended him. The mat